Today I'm bringing you a real and raw lock-in routine. This is not a 10-step skincare routine, 30-minute breath work routine, or a $300 red light. This is just step-by-step how we're gonna lock in to our health, our fitness, our nutrition, all of those things in a very realistic and sustainable manner. Let's start with how you start your day. I know I'm not the only one who loves watching a really elegant skincare routine, morning wake up routine, but I just know for myself that's not realistic. And part of this lock-in routine that we're gonna get into here involves not taking something that you see on social media and thinking that it needs to be in your life. We are not about comparison. My whole goal with this video is to help you find the right habits that fit into your lifestyle and make it so much easier to reach your goals and feel like you have a really good sustainable routine that leaves you feeling healthy, leaves you feeling confident, and it is not super hard to follow along. The first thing that this goes as a universal note is that we got to focus on water. Before we even get into any skincare, before we even talk about skincare, our skin needs water. So we have to focus on hydration. That means before you even touch your coffee, don't get crazy and drink coffee before water. Drink your water first. And something that I like to do to kind of get some extra hydration in is to add electrolytes to my water. And I really love the Redmond electrolyte brand. You could also just add something like a little bit of Celtic salt. You could even just add a pinch of this to your water, and it has so many minerals in it that are really great for your body and really great for hydration. And just doing that and hydrating your body is going to go such a long way, and it's going to be a lot cheaper than buying a million different moisturizers, toners, dewy setting sprays, all that stuff. Even though I do love all that stuff, we have to start with what is inside first. Then in my morning routine, I will try to spend a little bit of time in a devotional. This really helps to just spiritually fill my cup up. It helps me mentally, and it just gives me a lot of clarity on the day. And it also is just a really positive note to kind of start your day on. And sometimes this step will come first, sometimes this will come last. It doesn't really matter when you do these things. It just matters if it's something that you can do and you can stick to. So lately I've been personally reading the Confident Woman devotional, and it's a really easy one-page read with scripture, a little excerpt there, and then a final prayer to close out with. And I really love this. It's easy to travel with, and it's just such a great way to start my day. And it feels very relevant in my life as a woman. And I think you would really like it too. So you can always check that out if you want. I'll have that linked in the description below. The next thing that I like to do, and like I said, these don't have to be in this exact order, but is to have a protein forward breakfast. Some days this could look really as simple and basic as just a protein bar if I'm rushed, because I would rather have something than nothing at all. Or this could be something like a breakfast plate, which has kind of been more my jam because I'm not a huge egg girl, although I do like hard-boiled eggs right now. I'm getting over my egg ick, but normally that's something like some chicken sausage, maybe a little bit of Parmesan cheese on the side, and some type of fruit, and maybe a piece of sourdough toast. Having any type of breakfast or any type of protein forward food, maybe it's protein coffee, just something to get into your belly, is going to give you so much more energy throughout the day. It's also going to help your mood, whether you realize it or not, and it's going to help a ton with your blood sugar and making sure that you hit your protein goal by the end of the day. The next thing that I love to have in my morning routine is just 10 minutes of movement. And I don't want you to think this has to look perfect or this has to look glamorous. This morning I was getting my hair ready for church, and I didn't want to go outside to take a walk because it was so hot out. So I literally just pulled up a quick 10-minute Pilates workout with Pilates Body Raven. I love all her workouts on YouTube. She's so relatable, so fun. But I literally just did one of her workouts in my pajamas. I think I even did some of it in my robe. So even just 10 minutes of something, maybe it's a 10-minute ab workout, maybe it's 10 minutes of stretching, maybe it's walking on a treadmill inside, maybe it's 10 minutes out on your street just walking laps, anything simple like that. And the reason for this is because when you start your day with movement and you start your day with some type of activity that you're doing to give back to yourself with, you are going to have this great feeling of confidence and accomplishment throughout the rest of the day, even if all you did was just 10 minutes of movement. Because when you take that time to implement that into your routine, it makes you feel like you are doing something great for yourself, which you are, and that feeling feeling alone will build confidence. These don't have to be in any specific order, although I do suggest hydration first before you do the other things. But we have hydration, protein forward breakfast, 10 minutes of movement, and some type of little devotional or something that you can do to give back to your mind and your spiritual health. Okay, let's talk the fun stuff. Let's talk workout plan. Being in the summer, I realized that I really wanted something that was strength and cardio focused so I can work on both aspects of my journey at the same time and knock everything out in one workout. So I created the Strong and Sweaty series. And the great thing about this workout plan is that you can follow along at home with just a set of dumbbells and a mat. And all the workouts are designed so that the first 20 minutes of the workout are strength, and then the last 20 minutes of the workout are going to be cardio. So you get both in one workout. My best piece of advice when you are trying to hone in on your workout routine and figure out what to do is to pick a plan and stick to the plan. So for example, if you go to my YouTube channel, you can scroll under playlists, and I have tons of different playlists that you can follow. I have literally whole entire playlists of just beginner and intermediate workouts, cardio workouts, and then I have programs, which is what I would suggest that you pick one of. And the reason for this is when you're following a program, you're a lot more committed to doing those exact workouts and repeating those exact workouts. And it's a lot easier to build a habit. It just removes any of the hesitation that you might have when you're trying to figure out what workout you should do for the day. You already know this is what the program is, this is what we're doing, and you can always modify as you need, of course. You can find so many different plans. And once you pick one of those, you can go over to my Instagram and click on calendars. And when you click on calendars, you're gonna be able to tap through and find the corresponding program schedule for you to follow along to as well. And these are set up so that you can take a screenshot of it, save it in your phone, and every day that you complete the workout, you can put a little emoji or a little line over one of the circles to mark that day as done. I don't know about you, but there's something so satisfying about checking off something on the to-do list or just checking off a workout as done. And that satisfaction gives a little rush of dopamine, and that all helps with staying consistent on your journey because it builds these good feelings of accomplishment along the way. And I want to remind you too, on your journey, whether you're following a program or you're following a different calendar, whatever you decide to do for your workouts, you can always change it up. So let's say you have a 40-minute workout scheduled for today, but you seriously only have time for maybe 15, 20 minutes at best. You're not even sure you can get that in. That's totally fine. You could either do half of the workout. Maybe you skip that workout and you just take a walk outside. Maybe you just go for a quick run, or you just turn on music in your house and start dancing really hard to get some energy out. It doesn't have to look perfect. Doing something is better than nothing. And we're gonna talk a little bit more of that in the mindset section of this too. Now let's talk nutrition and meal plans and all that type of jazz when you want to lock in. This is how I personally structure things. You can totally copy this structure and just set it for a day that works best for you. So for myself personally, on Sundays, I will scroll through Pinterest and I will look for some meal inspo for the week. But I often like to change it up for lunch and dinner. And what I will do is try to pick a protein source or maybe some type of category of food that I'm craving. Maybe I'm craving Mexican food. Maybe I want something Mediterranean style. I will search for high protein recipes that are Mexican style or Mediterranean on Pinterest to get some inspo. And from there, I'll pull a recipe and then create my grocery list. This way, when I go into the grocery store, I have everything that I need for those specific recipes, and I can just execute making those recipes whenever I get home. I also want to talk about how I go about having my nutrition plan feel as easy to stick to as possible. And a couple things that I will do is whenever I buy fruits and veggies, I'll try to chop them all up and rinse them beforehand, before the entire week, so that I have them in the fridge and I can just grab and go. And anything that you can do to kind of remove that friction that might be sitting between you and your goal of eating the healthy food in your fridge, I highly suggest doing it because it makes all the difference. And if you've been on your nutrition journey for a while and you want a little bit of extra support to kind of push forward and see more results, I highly recommend checking out my Body Balance Blueprint. I'll have it linked in the description below, but this plan is designed so that every week we're going to be focusing on activity and nutrition goals to help you lose body fat, get into a calorie deficit, and build lean muscle. The last category of our locking in era is mindset. And I've talked a little bit about this in each category so far, but mindset is going to be key. And I just want to highlight a couple little mindset shifts that I think are going to help you a ton. The first one is to stop comparing yourself and your life and your journey to what you see on the internet. And I'm saying this to myself too, because even being a business owner on the internet, it can be so hard to not think, why don't I have what they have? Why doesn't my life look like this? But I want you to try and stop doing that. It's not going to get you to your goals, and it's only going to take you away from all the good that you probably already have going on in your life because you're too focused on what everybody else has got going on. So let's ditch the comparison. Let's celebrate what we have going on in our life, no matter how chaotic and how messy that may be, and let's focus on that instead. The next mindset shift is that something is always better than nothing. Just like I talked about with workouts, if you can't do a 40-minute workout and maybe all you can do is a 5 or 10-minute walk, that is better than nothing. Same with nutrition. Instead of completely skipping a meal or instead of throwing in the towel because you had McDonald's, something is better than nothing. Maybe just having a protein shake before bed if you're still hungry, that's better than nothing. And another huge mindset shift that is going to truly make or break your journey is to stop thinking of any bump in the road as a failure. Or if you skip a day of workouts, or if you eat out, or if the scale goes up, whatever the case may be, I want you to stop thinking of those things as failures, because you are not a failure. Your journey is going to have ups, it's going to have downs, it is not going to be a straight linear line, and that's totally okay. So whenever you accept that these things aren't failures, they're just little changes on your journey that you can easily adapt to and just keep working and learning from them, I promise you, your journey is going to feel like an ever ongoing, beautiful, great journey instead of something that has to have an end goal because you're just restarting, failing, restarting, failing, and repeating that cycle. And the last little bit of information that I'm going to leave you with is to focus on the big picture instead of just the little picture. I know far too often we can get really hung up on the number on the scale, what size our pants are, but I really want you to focus on the big picture. Maybe the big picture is, this week I did all my workouts. Or, oh my gosh, for the past month, I've been pretty consistently getting my workouts in. I want you to really just focus on that big picture because there's going to be so many little changes in the weekly, in the daily. And if you take a moment to step back and even look at yourself from now to maybe a year ago you wouldn't have even considered taking any changes on your fitness journey. That's a huge win from where you are then to where you are now. And you can even write down these mindset shifts. If it kind of helps you, I'll leave them here so that you can also screenshot them. But I just want to really encourage you to be kind to yourself on your journey and to not give up, to just keep moving forward, even if the forward movement isn't perfect. It isn't, exactly what you were expecting and hoping for. Little baby steps are going to pay off so much in the long run. And just remember, you are not alone. We are in this journey together. And if you need more of a community, please, by all means, come on over into the Strong Sisters United Facebook group. We want to cheer you on. We want your help and your support too on our journey, and you will not feel alone. That's one thing I can promise you. Comment down below which one of these habits you want to try to lock in with this week. And then every single week, I encourage you to just try something new. But I'm excited for you and us on this journey together.